Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad that you're back here with me. I love and appreciate all of you. Let me say thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares, your subscribes. Don't forget to hit that bell so when I post you'll get a new video. You can see what the universe and what God is having for us today. It's always a surprise. We never know what we're going to get. We never know what we're going to get into, but I always know that it's going to be exciting, so you don't want to miss anything. And you never know how quirky it's going to get around here. So, cheers. Sipping on some tea. Green tea with mint, actually, because my stomach was a little queasy earlier. So, if you have like any kind of digestive issues going on, you can always have some tea with some mint in it or ginger. Very good for you. Very good. Take a little sippy sip of that. And today I picked out a crystal for this video. It's my favorite one. It is a butterfly and it is an amethyst. I love amethyst. They have a very high vibration to them. However, I did not know this. I didn't know that technically you are not supposed to put amethyst in the sun, that the purple will fade out of it. And I'm pretty sure I think this used to be more purple than it was, and now it's less purple, so I'll quit putting it in the sun. But I didn't know that. So I heard that from somebody else's video that I was watching, and I thought that was interesting. I should share that with you. I'm going to get my phone here, actually. I want to look up some things in regards to amethyst, because some people might think, oh, it's a little bit hocus pocus. Crystals do have energy to them. They do have power. I believe they used crystal in like a lot of this like optic stuff. I think they used crystals when it comes to like transmitting like signals or energy waves. I know they definitely used crystals in like MRI and CT machines, if I'm not mistaken. Here, let me look it up so I'm not misrepresenting anything or giving you any misleading information. Let's look up, what are crystals used for? Okay. Oh, interesting. It says crystals are solid materials with a highly ordered microscopic structure that are used in a variety of ways, including, it says right here, quartz crystals are used in billions of oscillators for devices like watches. Did I say that right? Oscillators? Oscillators. Oscillators? I don't know what an oscillator is. I'll have to look that up. For devices like watches, clocks, radios, televisions, computers, cell phones, interesting, and GPS equipment. Interesting. So they do help guide us and obviously create energy for time and televisions and computers and cell phones. That's interesting. They provide timing signals for data processing and improve device performance, energy savings, and battery life. So, there's a lot of power in crystals. They're used for various different things. Now, I'm interested to know exactly about, let's look up the amethyst crystal. What is amethyst used for? Okay, it says amethyst has been used for centuries in jewelry, decorative objects, and spiritual practices. Some say it has physical and metaphysical properties that can help with anxiety, depression, headaches, and improve sleep patterns. Others say it can help with creativity and imagination. Amethyst is not only treasured for its spiritual properties, but also for its physical healing properties, such as reducing tension and headaches and promoting restful sleep. With a hardness of 7 on the Mohs scale, amethyst is a durable stone suitable for various applications, including home, jewelry, and home decor. Interesting. Well, I love it because it's purple, which is my favorite color. And purple is the color of royalty, like the royal robes, they were purple. Let's see. According to online claims, amethysts are said to have several physical healing properties, including enhancing the immune system, improving endocrine function. Interesting. So if you're sick, you get colds a lot, your immune system isn't, you might want to wear some amethyst jewelry, or maybe put an amethyst crystal next to your bed while you're sleeping at night. Or maybe just hold it near and dear to your heart, or hold it close to your head if you have a headache. Try it, see if it works. I'm all for holistic healing instead of some of these other medications that have a lot of really wacky side effects, let me tell you. Improving skin's appearance, promoting digestive health, reducing headaches, we read that, and regulating hormones. Interesting. I love that. Well, that's why I picked this one, I guess, today. Seems like that might be some of the things that we are going to be talking about. Or maybe those are some of the things that you've been dealing with, issues. You might want to get you an amethyst crystal. You could always wear it as a necklace or earrings or bracelet, or just keep it near to you. I like this one because butterflies, they represent transformation. And my loved ones, my ancestors, my daddy, they've been sending me a lot of butterflies lately. This morning when I was outside meditating, there were several white butterflies. So I found that pretty comforting because I was feeling a little lost this morning, but I just sat outside and soaked up some of the sunshine and listened to the birds sing, and just kind of put my bare feet in the grass and grounded myself for a while, and drank some water and drank some tea and started to feel a little bit better. Did some writing. I put on some happy music, some jazzy music, and I was like dancing around and having a good time, and that just got my vibes all high. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to get dressed today. And sometimes even getting dressed, put on something that makes you feel pretty or handsome or whatever. That can even be a place to start. Or sometimes when I'm not feeling like doing anything, I'll just make my bed. And sometimes just making my bed is I feel super accomplished. And because I accomplished that little task, then I kind of find myself going and doing other things, like putting the laundry away that's been sitting in the basket forever, and opening mail and going through mail that's been thrown on the kitchen table for the last week. And then all of a sudden I'm rearranging a kitchen drawer, and before you know it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a gourmet meal for dinner tonight. You can try it. My stomach is growling like crazy. I don't know if you can hear it, but anyway, now that I'm talking about food, I'm like, okay, what are we going to eat for dinner tonight, right? There is something that I wanted to share with you again in this lovely book that I've been reading. It's been really helping me to get through the passing of my father. So I don't know if you're into reading some kind of deep poetry, but I just really like it. So there's something else I want to share with you in here that I read and came across, and I thought it was really beautiful. So I'm going to share it with you. And this is on page 61. And it says, the part that I underlined here, I'm just going to share with you. It says, But for me, the danger is not only that they render those who have passed away less concrete, at least for the moment, less reachable for us, but even we ourselves in our longing for beyond away from here become in the process less concrete and less earthbound. While it is our obligation, as long as we are here and related to tree, flower, and soil, to remain earthbound in the purest sense, and even yet to become so. I think I read this in the other video. Sometimes Spirit does that. Like, Spirit will just have me like repeat myself. Do you ever notice that? Like, it happens like in a lot of other readers' videos and spiritual videos. Like, sometimes we have to like reiterate things. Like, it's not like you just digested it the first time. Sometimes when you hear it a second time, you digest it a little bit differently. I think that's interesting because I know I read this in my last other video, but hey, let's read it again because it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. In my case, what had died for me, so to speak, had died into my own heart. When I looked for the person who had passed away, he gathered inside of me in a peculiar and such surprising ways. And it was deeply moving to feel that he now existed only there. That's absolutely beautiful. I love that. What a beautiful way to describe someone dying and leaving us and crossing to the other side. Like, how beautiful that it's somber and it's bittersweet, but we get to carry them on in our hearts and carry them on our current journey from within. Instead of them being from without, now they're from within. And I want to share this too. This is on page 65. It says, life always says at once yes and no. Death, I implore you to believe it, is the true yes sayer. It says only yes before eternity. I think that's really, really deep and really beautiful. And so true. Like, life always says at once yes and no. And we can find that a lot of times in our lives, like as one thing's being taken, another's being given. Right? Like, even the cycle of life. Like, you know that song Lightning Crashes by REM? And it talks about how a baby is born and it takes its first breath and its eyes opens and it's now this new life. And the mother is so joyful because she's got this beautiful baby that she just gave birth to. And down the hall, there's an old woman who's taking her last breath and closing her eyes. And her family is grieving her because she's leaving. So as one is celebrating, one is grieving. As one is gaining, one is losing. And you can find that like just with like little things, like even goals, like in order to have one thing, you must lose another, right? So like in order to have more money and be ahead financially, you are losing the ability to just go out and buy everything that you want, right? You're not going to have both. You're not going to be blowing money and, you know, be making unwise choices and just having impulses and buying everything you want while saving money and getting ahead and having financial gain, right? Same with like losing weight, you know, starting a diet and wanting to be fit and starting an exercise program. You're not going to sit there and eat all of your favorite foods and chow down a whole bag of chips and candy and eat a whole cake and then also go to the gym and lose weight, right? Like if you want to lose weight and be more fit and healthy, you're going to give up something, right? If you want to do well on your test, right? Say you're studying for school and you want to do well on your test, you have an exam coming up and you want to get a good grade on it, you want to pass the class. You're probably going to do without sleep. You're not going to be sleeping in on the weekends when you could be studying. You're probably going to be staying up later in order to study and write term papers and all of that stuff. And you're not going to be out partying with your friends and having fun and doing your extracurriculars like you want to. You know, your social life is going to kind of be put on hold in order to have the time to study and pass your classes and all of that. So there's always a give and a take. But if you look at it like that, it is essentially telling you, life is telling you yes and no at the same time. If you think about that, it's pretty deep. Pretty good point. I mean, this book has kind of been picking my brain, and I like it. I like it. I'm all about learning and just going within and kind of seeing the bigger picture, because you went within and you kind of like saw everything in like a microscopic way. But then once you understand that, you can kind of like zoom your lens out and you can see the bigger picture of how everything, like, it all connects together as well. Like, there is a universe outside of ourselves. You know, there's a big universe that we live in, the planets and the stars and the galaxies and all that stuff. And then within that is the earth. And then within the earth is us and every living thing here. And then within those living things like us and plants and animals is a whole nother universe, right? Like, think about the people back in the day before they even knew what germs were, because they didn't have a microscope and they weren't able to see germs and they didn't understand. But like, the germs were always there. You know, the reality of the germ world exists. They just couldn't see it until they had the tools to be able to see it and recognize it. So it still had an effect and it was still living in its own universe, but we couldn't see it. So a lot of times, just because you can't see something or you don't understand something does not mean that it doesn't exist. It just maybe means that the universe, God, was not ready to introduce you to those concepts and those ideas because you couldn't ingest them. Or maybe the information would fall into the wrong hands, you know, and something catastrophic could happen. Because we all know that if humans get something really good, they tend to use it not for good. So there's that too. So anyway, that's my whole little spiel for today and the things that, you know, we continue to learn together. And the more that you are open-minded and you're open to receive these ideas, like, God and the universe is not just going to give you all this information at once. Like, it would completely overwhelm you, right? It's like a baby. Like we're all babies. You know, you have a baby and you give it milk. And then when the baby can process the milk and it graduates to the next level, we give the baby cereal. You know, you mix the milk in with the little baby cereal and you feed it to the baby. And when the baby can digest that, then it graduates from that and we chop up vegetables and fruits, you know. We pulp those, you know, we puree those up and feed it to the baby. And then when the baby graduates from that and they do well with being able to digest that and handle that, then we move on to more solid foods. You don't just go and give a baby a steak right away. The baby would choke. Well, spiritually, it's like that for us too, and all the information that we are learning and consuming, it's got to be digested little by little. You know, you kind of got to graduate from one level before you get to the other. So, and not everything is meant to make sense either. And sometimes there's beauty in that too. I mean, I just kind of go with the flow. Go with the flow. I'm learning just like you are. We all are. We're all kind of like on different levels, but yet on the same level at the same time. It's really hard to describe, but I think it goes back to that card that we had on the last reading where it was a spider. I don't know if you remember, it was a spider with like the girl was holding the strings, and the leaves were like flowing out of her all around her, and they were getting like entwined in this kind of like spider web, you know, like we're all kind of webbed. Our lives and stuff are webbed together, and it's like when you make one decision and you throw this out there and do this, it has like a ripple effect, and it affects this person and that person and this path and that path, and they just all kind of build on one another, if that makes sense. I hope it's making sense. And if it doesn't, that's okay. It doesn't have to make sense either. We're all on different levels here, but yet we're all part of the same school called Earth. And I think it's great. And I very much love and appreciate everybody's differences and difference of opinions. So if there's ever anything you want to share with me, my email is always in the description. And feel free to email me and ask questions or share something with me. I'm very eager to hear from all of you. And you can always comment in the comments sections below anything that you know more than I do, right? Or if there's something that I missed or just something you feel like you need to share with me, please do. Please do. And I love to hear all of your stories. I really do. Okay, so I want to do something a little bit different instead of pulling cards this time. I've been led to do some guided writing. So, and that's something that I'm stepping out in. It's not brand new to me, but it's brand new to sharing it with other people, especially on like such a wide platform as this. So I'm just stepping out there in faith and going to walk it out because I've been led to do so. So that's what I'm going to do. I feel like it's definitely part of my life path and my purpose. And yeah, so I'm going to do some guided writing, but first I'm going to burn some sage and clear the energy from whatever we've been talking about or whatever I was doing early, and just invite for whatever needs to come in, of course, from the purest, highest white light, you know, possible. I'm just going to cleanse the air and the energy here because I'm sure somebody wants to come through with something to say to my collective. So we're just going to get right into it, and we will see what flows from my hands. So it's whatever comes to my heart and my mind. That's what I write, and that's a message that I need to give to someone. I'm not sure who, but you will know who you are. And yeah, so let's get to it. So just bear with me. I'm just going to like let it flow, and then I'm going to read the notes. So just bear with me for a second as I just like let it come out here. Okay. So this message is for Vivian. Vivian, I love you very much. I am sorry for the accident and leaving you so suddenly. Stop to smell the roses, and when you see yellow flowers or yellow butterflies, know I am with you. Love always, Tina. So, I'm just going to only do one message at a time because I don't want anything to get confused, but that is the one message for Vivian, and I hope you know that Tina loves you very much, and she's with you, and she's going to send you yellow butterflies. I think that is awesome. That is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. And Vivian, if you come across this video, please, if you'd like to, feel free to comment below. Let me know so I can continue to pray for you, and maybe Tina might want to come through and speak to you personally about some things. So, and when you like the videos and comment on them, it kind of puts your energy into this video, and then the energy is sent back to me, because energy takes all different kinds of forms. I mean, even this video, as you're watching it, there's like energy flowing through the screen as I'm recording it, and it's going to go into the internet on YouTube, and it takes energy for it to even be able to be played. So we could get really out there on a limb with that, but just think about that for a second. Like, everything here is energy. It's energy. And so, yeah, anyway, I'm going to pull some cards from this Spiral Oracle deck, just for one last message. I said I wasn't going to, but I'm being led to, so I'm going to do it because I am being obedient to the voice, and that's what I'm doing. And then, okay, so 2 cards. I'm being told 2 cards, 2 cards. They flew right up and out, so that's what we're going to go with. And the first one we have is reflecting my center of fire. Reflecting my center of fire. Let's see what it says for reflecting my center of fire. Okay. Reflecting my center of fire, every single choice I make is an act of will. I am able to recognize a force within me when I direct my willpower with a concrete intention and observe the dynamic energy that moves it. It is no longer simply a matter of wanting something and following that impulse. Now what moves me is something deeper. It is the expansion of my life energy, creating a bridge to my purpose. My creative will originates from the most intimate core of my being. Therefore, it is important to make room for it by pruning what distracts me and blocks out the light. In this way, I allow a feeling of strength and power to grow from within me as I follow my true path. I now listen with awareness to the voice that emerges from this new space. Are my thoughts, my feelings, and my intentions aligned with the deepest part of my being? Today, I allow myself to feel the child alive in this adult. And that's speaking to your inner child, your inner child. Today, I allow myself to feel the beauty, the sweetness, and the softness of life. Today, I caress my skin like never before with true love, appreciation, and respect, aware that I reside here within your inner self. Allow the element of fire to guide my journey from the solar plexus, dancing with the 4 elements that inhabit me. I am the master of my destiny. I am the captain of my soul. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Let's say that out loud together, because that is absolutely beautiful. I am the master of my destiny. I am the captain of my soul. I gently channel my energies, recognizing how to take care of myself in each present moment. I am connected. I am fertile territory. I am a gentle caress. I am a song. I am affection. I am the relationship between art, clay, touch, and love. By embracing my instinct without taming it, I belong to myself and I bond. Today I am blooming from my scars. Today, that part of me that was always prepared for war can finally rest. Wow, I love that. This reminds me a lot of my dad. You know, he was, like I said, he was a Vietnam veteran, and he suffered terribly from post-traumatic stress disorder. And he was just stuck, you know, like you have a fight or flight response. Well, my dad was stuck in fight. And even though he came home from Vietnam alive, he very much was still at war with himself and within himself. And I know that he's now on the other side and he's finally at peace, and that's helping me a lot to let go and release, knowing that he's finally at peace and not at war with himself or with, you know, with other people. So I'm going to say that again, because that's just so beautiful. Let's say that again out loud together. Today I am blooming from my scars. Today that part of me that was always prepared for war can finally rest. Earth, my body. Water, my blood. Air, my breath. And fire, my spirit. I absolutely love that. I pray for each one of you that are struggling with any kind of internal war and any kind of internal conflict. I sincerely pray for you and your healing. You can release it. You can heal from it. But the first step is going to be acknowledging it, allowing yourself to go through the motions of releasing it, and then forgiving it. And the last part of forgiving is forgetting. That's the part that we most struggle with when it comes to forgiveness. Is the second part is the most important, and that's forgetting. That means that we don't go back after we've already forgiven it, healed from it, let it go, got rid of the baggage. We don't go back and then pick it up and take it back again. We forget it. But you can't forget it overnight. It's like, it's a process. You have to go through the process. It's not like some like magic thing where you're just like, oh, I'm just going to forget it. I mean, maybe some people might be able to do that, but I'm going to tell you, usually when people do that, they're just pretending that the issue or the trauma or the experience or the mistake or whatever, they pretend like it's gone, and then you find them like years and years later having some kind of extremely traumatic breakdown. And you'll see people, their lives just like all of a sudden they just like falls apart, like everything just comes apart at the seams for them. So you have to go through the process. You have to. And it's not easy. But every day it gets a little better. And sometimes just being able to talk about it is the first step. Because a lot of people struggle with being able to talk to other people. You know, sometimes family and friends aren't the best people to go to because they're going to be a little biased, and they're not counselors, and they're not going to have all the right things to say. That doesn't mean that maybe you won't have some friends that might be good at that, but sometimes seeking professional help is the place to start, because they can do cognitive behavioral therapy, and it helps. It does help. It helps a lot, actually. I've seen a lot of people get better with cognitive behavioral therapy and art therapy and music therapy and water therapy, and sometimes you need to do all of those things. Definitely doesn't hurt. Okay, and the last card we have here is Rising. It's a really pretty card. It's like rising out of the water. You see that? And in the middle of his chest is the yin and the yang. Like balancing duality, light and dark. It's like almost looks like he's trying to escape outside of himself, right? And there's like he's holding himself back here. It's like these are different versions of himself, right? And this one has a hold of his arm. They're kind of like, he's kind of like reaching out for help, but then these things back here are holding him back. That's interesting. How fitting for what we were talking about. All right, let's read Rising, and then we will conclude this message here. Rising. Okay. A new start for me. I have done well. Everything is taking its place. Expectations no longer exist. All that remains is the knowledge that I dream my life. I am the dream that I make real with every step I take. Life surprises me. My work bears fruit and scatters the seeds of my essence. My waters, my emotions are now imbalanced, and I am absolutely aware of my responsibility as a being who dreams the world. Trust. I stop listening to others, and I trust in every step I have walked, in what I have created, and in what I feel. I embrace my past process. I taste both the sweet and the bitter. Everything that happens has its reason, even if I can't always see it. Each situation is perfect for every moment. In gratitude, in this perfect moment, I trust. That is so beautiful. I absolutely love that for all of you. For all of us collectively together, healing and moving on from things, right? One step at a time. Sometimes we look for things outside of us, but really it all comes from within. And with that, I love all of you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Be kind to yourself. Okay? Don't let anybody bring you down with any kind of negative talk. Make sure you talk to yourself. Even if you have to look yourself in the mirror, say, hey, I got this. And if you don't, come right back here to me and I'll remind you. You got